And we await. Thanks very much, Chris. And we were all thinking about what Tim Russert said, Gene, which sort of amounted to the idea that we don't know if this race is over as we sit here tonight, but we feel like we can see the end from here for the first time in much clearer view.
Yeah, we've been saying for a while that it's hard to chart a clear path for Hillary Clinton to the nomination. That has become much more opaque tonight, much more difficult to see, because in fact, if he ekes out a victory in Indiana, or even if it's, you know, just within a few votes, the way he dominated in North Carolina, you have to say that the uncommitted superdelegates, the donors, basically the Democratic Party establishment is going to be asking, why keep this going? It doesn't look like you have a path to
Rachel,
win.
you've been the contrarian here in the last hour, surprising Keith even here. I come back to this idea of what Tim also raised, which is, what is the rationale? She has had the opportunity going back now, even before Pennsylvania, to hit her stride as a candidate, to hit her message, and then more recently to hit an issue, to find a substantive disagreement on this gas tax holiday at the worst time in his campaign. And yet all she has to show for that is a win in Pennsylvania. She loses North Carolina, and maybe if she pulls out Indiana, it's by a whisker tonight. She could not capitalize on this period of time when she is in her zone and he's very much off his game.
But I think the reason that I have this contrarian perspective tonight is because I don't think that Hillary Clinton has had a rational, clear path to the nomination for quite some time, at least one that didn't depend on just still being the person in the race when something bad happened to Obama. And I think that that rationale has been what's been driving her campaign for a very long time, which is why we've seen her moving the goalposts all the time and coming up just with rationales for not to quit.
That unreasonable a rationale? I mean,
I think it is. I think it's actually very reasonable.
But let me take your.
I'd be doing the same thing.
Pat, let me take Rachel's point and raise it. If the rationale was about Obama becoming undone, this is the period for him to completely unravel. The vote did not demonstrate that tonight. The Reverend Wright issue, even if it's an issue in the general election, is going to get better for him in the short term, not worse.
Exactly right. She did have a rationale and an argument. She had the momentum. She was at the top of her game. She was the populist gal. She had emerged, and she didn't go over the top. The tide rose, and now it's begun to recede. Her momentum has been broken. He's been slipping and stumbling all over the lot, and yet he still won Indiana and North Carolina. For the Clintons, I mean, for Hillary and this is the night the music died. I mean, look, this is the turning point. After this, there is no way to see her getting the nomination. There's no argument for her going on the attack in West Virginia or in Kentucky and really beating him up, because they got to know, and everybody knows, this thing is over, and you don't do those things when the game has been decided.
But then why are we hearing from the Clinton campaign today, literally today, if you elect Barack Obama, there's going to be an October surprise? They've used the phrase October surprise today. The Clinton campaign talking about
what they said this afternoon is a little different from what they can say tonight.
But the rationale remains the same. It remains post-rational.
The idea that they could play out their hand. I guess that means we're done, Keith.
Either that or dinner's ready.
No, it just means only that I disagree with Rachel on this again. So you get the bell of the night. That's it.
So the bell, wait a minute, the bell has now emerged. The bell has a new role?
The bell has a new role. No, but seriously, all the points you make are valid, except they're all a little dated, because that was all before Indiana turned out to be a one-run ball game.
But Indiana, why on earth, if you were Hillary Clinton and if you believed, if you were Hillary Clinton and you believed that it made sense for you to stay in this race up until this point, why would Indiana be the breaking point for you?
Because there's no more money tomorrow.
There's no more money, but
there's no more money tomorw.
There's no absolutely.
Three times. There's no more money tomorrow.
And the campaign owes you $5 million already.
And it's your money.
If you are Hillary Clinton and your competing instincts are, I don't want to be broke and I want to be president. If you're already broke, what's the difference between $5 million in the hawk or $20 million in the hawk if you actually believe in a post-rational universe that you could be this candidate?
But look, because the fundamental argument that she could be the popular winner is gone. The bottom just dropped out of it. He added to his popular vote margin. He added to his state margin. He won one of the 10 biggest states. It is over.
She was never going to be the popular winner. She was going to win because Barack Obama was run over by a truck, metaphorically.
But
that's how she was going to win this nomination.
If she does want to get on the ticket, there's a point of diminishing returns. And if she continues, as Pat suggests, to hammer her in upcoming states where she's got no ability any longer to change the dynamic, she had an ability to change the dynamic of this race tonight.
It's the Jim Baker told George Bush, virtually put him out of the race, said, don't go on. You got a shot for being on the ticket. He would have won some more states against Ronald Reagan, but drop out. It's the right time. I do think she's going to go on. I do think they'll sit down tomorrow. Whatever they decide, they'll cut out the negative ads and the attack ads and those things. And if she goes on, that's the campaign.
And try to go on to May 20th, and maybe they both end on a high note.
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
I agree with Pat and disagree with Rachel.
Thank you, David.
Gentlemen, Pat, one of the things we heard from both candidates tonight was an appeal for unity. You heard it from Barack Obama talking about repairing the breach in the party, and Hillary Clinton going out of her way to say that she will work tirelessly for the Democratic nominee. There's a recognition, and the numbers that Nora talked about, that there is some repair work that's got to be done, and done in pretty short order if they're going to get into kind of fighting shape to take on John McCain.
Oh, that's right, but I think they've got 4 months to do that, and I think just like the number of people who weren't going to vote for McCain under any situation, Republican Party are now all going to him, Rush and Hannity and the others all moved to him. I think the Democrats will really start together because, they see this incredible opportunity. Secondly, while the personalities are different, on the issues, they're not that far apart, the Democrats aren't. And I think 4 months is an enormous amount of time in politics. Our whole campaign has only been 4 months. So I think they're going to come together. The real problem for Obama is that vote we've been talking about, the white, working class, the seniors, the Catholics, the folks that didn't, the Reverend Wright types. Can he bring those folks in Pennsylvania and Carolina, Ohio more importantly, Michigan? Can he bring those folks over himself? And right now, there's a real problem. He's got a real disconnect with the Reagan Democrats.
Gene, to that point, how does he approach a running mate? Once he gets past this, assuming he gets past it, how does he think about a running mate and how to deal with those problems with those voters?
I think he thinks of a running mate in the traditional way. Who's going to help him in what states he needs to carry in order to put together his electoral vote majority? And whether he looks for somebody who can help him in Virginia, or somebody who can help him in Colorado, or somebody who can help him shore up one of the traditional Democratic states like Pennsylvania. I think that's what he looks at. But I think he also looks at Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and starts thinking now about the kind of help particularly Bill Clinton could give him, in communities where he didn't do that well in the primaries.
Well, there's an argument here, Rachel, that there doesn't have to be a lot of negotiation between Obama and the Clinton team about whether she is on the ticket. But he can let this play out a little bit longer with maybe an end date of May the 20th, get a big victory in Oregon, and get past the point where he's got to negotiate with her at all. Does he really need her is the question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that both campaigns have said when they've been asked about this dream ticket idea is, you know what, we'd rather think about it based on our individual circumstances at the point where we're forced to think about it. There's no help for them at rushing into it at all. And I think they both I think even if Clinton still had a chance at this, I think that Clinton would put it together in a very rational way based on what you're looking ahead to at the general. You don't try to repair the damage from the primaries with your VP pick in this race, I don't think. I think you're looking ahead, not back.
Right.
Pat, one aspect of this, if she is looking to get on the ticket because she's looking ahead to Obama failing in the fall, our most recent example, Tim Russert talked about Muskie, but the most recent example of John Edwards not faring well on the ticket in 2004 left him inoperable as a candidate in this cycle.
Well, that's right. Look, now, I don't know if she really wants to be on the ticket or not, to be very honest with you. I'm not sure about that. But what she must do is she must be all out, she and Bill Clinton, no more Teddy Kennedy walking around the stage with Carter trailing him, none of that nonsense. And they got to be out and be seen and perceived by all the Obama people and every Democrat as busting their gut for the Democratic Party. And it's in their interest to do so, quite frankly. If he wins, he wins. If he loses, then the door is open. But if she doesn't go to work for him, The Obama people will no more forgive her than we forgave Rockefeller for what he did to Goldwater.
I think that's what they would do.
Sure, that's natural.
You know, and that's what they say they would do.
Since it's in their interest, it's what they probably do.
All right. The end game appears to be inside, gentlemen. Back to you.